so epic.
I think that's it.
There he is. You guys ready? Let's pull it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Hey! And JB's on there!
600!
600! Yes! Yay! 600 mile time. That would be just... So here we are, back with the real supercharger. Okay, we are on the test track.
They'd recommend putting your head on the headrest.
Okay.
There he's ready. Nope.
Yep. Oh. Oh, there it goes. Oh. Oh, that never gets old either. We have the post-study production cars here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, oh yeah, you watch it.
But why is he gonna throw it?
I don't know, but we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
He just used a sledgehammer. What?
Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
I'm Eric, otherwise known as Derek, here in Shanghai at Gigafactory 3.
Ballapalooza. It's like tricks.
3, 2, 1.
Will it wipe is the big question of the day.
Will it wipe?
Generic cornflakes.
Whoa! It's raining cornflakes! Oh. This is trippy. Look, there's nothing here.
Hello once again. Today is what? Sunday, February 19th, 2023, and we are back again. I'm David, this is Eric. Together we are Derek, and we're going to talk about stuff in the Tesla world. I mean, you know, it's been a while since we've had these weekly chats. We have been so busy every weekend, but we're just trying to get back there. You know, last week was the big game, and so we didn't want to interrupt people's schedules last week, but we're here to talk about some of the big news in the world of Tesla. And one thing before we get started on the news, a lot of people have been messaging about Tesla's offering this $5,000 trade-in if you trade in one of your old vehicles that's got free unlimited supercharging. And for those of you who don't know, these are vehicles that were offered way back, you know, before like 2017. All the vehicles that Tesla sold, almost all the vehicles that Tesla sold, had free supercharging for life. And they kind of ended that in 2017. They brought it back some free supercharging since then, but there's still thousands of cars out there that have this free supercharging for life, and Tesla's kind of trying to, it looks like, remove that from the books, so they don't want to have to keep paying that perpetually. And I don't know, I don't think that's $5,000 is such a good deal for a few reasons.
Yeah, so welcome, first off.
And I'm back here again, yes, in the back seat.
We need to redo things in here, but
We're still moving things around.
yeah. But anyway, so reason being, sorry, this is my pointer for the day. Reason being, I don't think $5,000 is a good deal. One, you lose the subscription that you're locked in at for the premium connectivity subscription. Yes, it's only $10 a month. Whatever. Still super cheap.
Also, you lose the free supercharging.
But you lose the free supercharging. You could lose features that you might have had, such as the sunroof, like we have on the 2017 100D, which also has free supercharging. There's other features too you might lose if you had a silver Model S. Gonna lose that color. But it's like, to me, I don't think $5,000 is enough because normally trade-in values with Tesla are low anyway. So I don't think that $5,000 bonus really does too much, to be honest.
How do you know they're really baking that $5,000 in there?
Totally.
If they say, here's what your trading value is, and then you're like, well, does that include the $5,000? They're going to be like, oh yeah, that has your $5,000 because you're giving up free supercharging. It's just like, you know, it would be better if they had some sort of $5,000 discount on. But again, how
they
do you
could
know
still
they're not
bake it
baking that
in.
into
Yeah.
trade? They need to allow you to. I don't know, because if you tell them that I have a trade-in,
so I guess
they can lower. They're going to lower
Yeah.
the value of your trade-in.
So I have a question then. If we filled out a trade-in right now, would they add $5,000 to that, or are they baking that in already?
Yeah, that's what
I guess we don't know.
We don't know.
But I don't really think it's a great deal anyway. Anyway, we just want to talk about it because so many people have been messaging us and being like, hey, does this seem good? What do you think we should do? And it's really whatever works for you.
But also, not a lot of. It depends too. Some people never use free supercharging.
True.
Never use it. Some people use it thousands of dollars a year, and so definitely it wouldn't make sense for them to trade in if they're getting thousands of dollars. And we know, like one of the people who bought one of our cars wanted it because it had that free supercharging for life. And when we sold it to him, it transferred, and he uses it for a ton of road trips. And
Yeah.
we definitely see that there's a lot of people that get a lot of value out of that. But there's other people that's like, we don't care. We only get $100 a year. So for some people, we just don't know though if that $5,000 how it fits into the trade-in value.
Yeah. But again, it's all what works for your situation.
Yeah.
Maybe that $5,000 would make you go for that. But I don't know. For us, it's not really.
But we'll come back to that in
Big.
chat later on. We just wanted to bring that up first thing. That's not definitely the biggest news of the week. It's just something that people have been talking about. But one of the big things is there's been some leaks of maybe hardware for autopilot.
And once again, Green the Only on Twitter, if you don't follow him, you really should. He gets like everything so quickly. And he actually already has the hardware for computer from a refreshed Model X. Yeah. I don't know how he gets these things, but I guess there was a Model X that crashed and he found that it had a weird computer and bought it. And so Tesla's already been putting these into some vehicles. And there's some really key things that I wanted to kind of talk about this. One, it's a different form factor. So he kind of broke all this down. We're just going to kind of go over it real quick. You can see here the mounting points and everything. So especially being that the mounting points are different, chances are that a possible retrofit is not going to work, which I know is going to disappoint a lot of people, but that's just kind of how we go. I guess
As a visual aid.
a visual aid.
This is the hardware. This is hardware 3 computer, right?
Yes, but that's a Model 3 and Y. This is an S and X.
But I mean, just as hardware 3. So yeah, different. But I think, aren't they going to all have the same form factor?
They
now?
should, yeah.
And so basically, where you plug in the cameras and everything has changed again.
Yep.
And the number of cameras looks like it has changed again. So.
And there go our plugs.
Yeah. But
Yeah, just don't flip it 'cause
okay.
it might leak. Anyway, yeah, there's some other things too. So he goes on to really kind of like analyze everything. So we're just going to kind of go over the big things here. Cameras. So now there are 12 camera connectors with one marked as a spare. Currently, there's 8 cameras with one internal. So there's 9 currently, and this looks like it will have 12. There's a new front radar. There's all kinds of like stuff with this, and it looks like some of the other camera connectors are going to be for the bumpers.
Yeah, so it
So
looks like they might finally
front bumper,
have-
rear bumper
Yes,
potential.
so maybe bird's eye view finally coming to Tesla. Because right now,
Yep.
the way the cameras are, Tesla's trying to do vision only, and they've removed those ultrasonic sensors, but you can't see from the cameras that are up there on the windshield by the rear view mirror, you can't see down in front of the bumper. And so Tesla definitely needs some sort of front bumper, maybe some side bumpers, or side cameras on the bumper too.
Yeah.
And same thing for the rear bumper.
Yeah, and then here's some.
Or they could have them on the side mirrors at the bottom, like other cars do.
Yeah, and then here's some pictures of like the new radar unit and everything like that. It's supposed to be like a super high def radar unit, and these are actually from the FCC, so that kind of just came available as well.
Yeah, but we've known about this high definition radar for like a year or two because
Yep.
Elon was tweeting about it, talking about how much greater it is, and it just.
But
took a
now we
while.
finally have
Yeah.
the photos of it. So that's kind of interesting. But I don't know. There's some interesting things going on with this. I'm really curious to see what changes, what doesn't. It's been talked about too, from what Green could find, that the B-pillar cameras will be disappearing. And in turn, the turn signal cameras and the front fenders will have 2 cameras in them. So we've seen those on some test mules a lot too. So that kind of makes sense, and it's going to be less wiring that they really have to do, and I don't know, less chances of things to maybe break. I don't know, but it's interesting. I'm really excited to see the first one. We've been seeing a lot of Model 3s, well, several Model 3s that have been kind of covered up, that they've been running around in California. So I really think March 1st, which is the investor day, is when we're going to learn a lot about this. We will be doing that live as well. So definitely stay tuned. But I don't know. This could be interesting without saying too much, but without saying not enough. Maybe, I guess we'll just say this. We're either going to be getting one of the last Hardware 3 cars or a brand new Hardware 4 car without saying too much.
And you
Without
know,
saying too much.
As the years have gone by, Eric got an Autopilot 1 car way back in 2016. Then we got one of the very first cars with Autopilot 2. We later got a car with Autopilot 3, but then we also had one of the very first cars with Autopilot 3 hardware, and maybe we'll have one with the very first with Autopilot 4, or we'll have one of the very last ones with Autopilot 3. So
Yeah, it's kind of a TBD at this point. We will see, and then we will bring you guys along with too for that delivery video, hopefully soon. But I guess as of right now, it's gonna be a late or last Autopilot 3 or first Autopilot 4.
Yeah. And so that's kind of some cool like inside news where, if you follow Tesla closely, you know that not everybody's going to know about this hardware 4 changes, but something that probably everybody heard about in the news last week was the recall on FSD. And this is going to affect pretty much every car with FSD that has been built since 2016 when that Autopilot 2 hardware came out, which is over like 324,000 vehicles.
Yeah, so this is the actual NHTSA letter that was submitted out. Subject: full self-driving software may cause crash. Very clickbaity, might I add. But anyway, it does go into some things. And so Rob actually broke it down really well. So again, if you don't follow Tesla Podcast on Twitter, go, because he does a lot of great things as well. But there are 4 main things stated in the recall, which will all be fixed via an over-the-air update. And Elon tweeted about it this week. So many people tweeted about it this week. We really need to change the word recall, because this should be like, what is a different word we could use besides recall on this that can just be an over-the-air update that doesn't affect anything?
Yeah,
really.
they need to clarify things, I guess, because in the
Yes.
past, recalls meant the car had to go back to the dealership and
Exactly.
have work done on it. But now in the day of computers and software updates, maybe they could rename it. I guess it is technically a recall, but it doesn't
but
require
it's
physical. The car.
maybe
going
we should
back.
have minimal recall, major or I don't know how do we need to do this, but we need to change something because it sounds way worse than it is. We are still losing some features, so that sucks. And actually, Diego said digital recall. I kind of like that.
Yep.
That's a good one. But some of the features that we will be losing, or they will be updating right now, are going to be some of the vehicles can exceed speed limits on inner city roads, which, to be honest, I've experienced this. So there's part of my daily drive where it goes from 50 down to like 35 and 25. And normally I'm not even going 35 by the time I'd hit the 25. So it's not slowing down enough. So some work needs to be done there. I agree. This is a good one that should be fixed. Number 2 was possibility of traveling through an intersection while in a turn-only lane. I'll agree with that one. I haven't experienced this myself, but something that shouldn't happen. Also, not coming to complete stops at stop signs. Sometimes it actually wants to come to a complete stop, and I'll give it a little juice so that we don't. I haven't experienced that one either. As well as proceeding during a steady yellow without due caution is how they worded it in the NHTSA letter. So I really haven't experienced any of those except for the first one. However, I am happy to see that they will be taking care of some of this. But again, I don't think the word recall is the right thing here because it sounds way worse than it is.
And I just wonder what the timing is. Are they going to turn it off? Are they going to turn these features off right away for everyone?
Well, true, yeah.
Instantly. But also, what's the timing on how this is going to be fixed? Because as we know, they first started delivering these vehicles back with Autopilot 2 in 2016, and we had to wait months before many of those enhanced Autopilot features became available.
Yeah.
And they learned. It was great to see the features coming out, and we could go for like 35, 45, 55 on auto steer. But there are still issues with the speed and all these other things, as Eric has brought up, that on my drive to work when I used to go into the office, the speed limit has been wrong for 5 years. And so I don't see how they can say, okay, we're going to do a software update to address all these when the speed limit data is not correct.
Right.
They're not going to be able to fix these anytime soon.
The thing is, though, is they can read the speed limit with the cameras. And they originally did that, and then
It's come and gone.
left, and then I think it came back a little bit, and then it left again.
Or
so
if it's there, I don't notice it. Because because on my drive, it just never has the speeds right. So I don't think there's like, oh, we're going to fix it with the software update. It's not as easy as just changing a few lines of code or changing some neural net, because these speed limit database are wrong.
Right. Yeah. And
They've
so
been wrong for years.
And that takes some time to fix. So it's not like you can fix that easily. At least I don't think so. I guess time will tell. But anyway, Tesla does have 2 months, so they have through April 15th.
I think it would be really ironic though, because with that 2017 S100D that we've had for almost 6 years now,
that we just got FSD on.
We waited almost 6 years to get full self-driving enabled on that, just because we were waiting for the MCU upgrade and the camera upgrade. Then we got another camera upgrade where they fixed the first one. Then we finally got it turned on, and then less than 2 weeks later, they're saying, oh, there's a recall, and so it might be going away. And that's really ironic.
Well, so from everything I've gathered, they won't actually be removing FSD beta. They're just going to fix those 4 things in the code for FSD beta. Again, though, I guess we'll see how it kind of shakes out. I'm not too worried about it at this point, but it's just... I just hate this recall word needs to disappear.
They've come a long way, but they still have some things that need to be fixed. We'll say that.
Yep, agreed. Other big news. Actually, this is huge news because everyone feels very passionate one way or another on this topic, is superchargers will be opening to non-Teslas.
And this is confirmed. They've already done this in Europe, and Elon's been hinting about it for a year or more, that it would be coming to the United States. But now that Biden has tweeted about it, and then it's going to be part of these recovery acts that are going on and the reinvestment in America, that they're going to be installing thousands of new charging stations, and Tesla's going to be part of that.
Yeah.
And they're going to be converting, or maybe not converting right away, but installing new ones that will be capable of charging Teslas as well as non-Tesla vehicles.
Yeah, so by the end of 2024, their plan is to have 7,500 Tesla chargers available for all EVs, again, by the end of next year. And half of those will be new locations, half will be existing locations. But the funniest thing out of all this is Biden finally tweeted something good about Tesla, which he's been very careful not to tweet about Tesla, but he actually did tweet about it. So, I mean, we're a step in the right direction. And I think it's kind of cool that Tesla's doing this. I know a lot of people either feel very strongly for or against, but I'm honestly very for this because this means Tesla will be getting a lot of that $7.5 billion in federal funding to be able to add these chargers, and that's just going to help everybody. It really will.
And I think that they're not. You don't have to worry. They're not going to go overnight, switch out all the stations, and you're going to see these other makes and models at every supercharger station. I think what they're going to do is that some of the newer stations that are coming online, those will be capable of doing Teslas as well as non-Tesla vehicles using CCS. But I think they'll gradually go back to maybe some of the other larger stations where there isn't a lot of, there's not a wait. And some states it's not a problem, some states it is, but they're not going to turn them all over overnight. This is going to take years, and they're not going to do every single one. I think as long as they have some, they can work towards the goal, but it's not going to go downhill really fast, I think.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a positive. Tesla has always been to really just push other manufacturers to make EVs. And I think this is really going to help, because my big holdback on other EVs is charging networks that they have to rely on suck. And actually part of this bill, I think actually says 95 or 97% uptime, which is, thank God they put that in there, because EA sucks.
We tried. So we
Straight up.
have for my Model S that we have for 2022.
Yep.
We bought the CCS adapter and we took it up to EA multiple times.
At least 3 or 4 times, and we have the video footage every time, and it didn't work any time.
And we tried multiple stations, and maybe the 150 ones worked, but the ones that were supposed to be charging at up to 225 or 250. Very poor performance, didn't work, or the credit card reader worked, the screen didn't work, it just wouldn't charge. And then we would move a few feet over to the supercharger nearby, V3 supercharger, instantly got 250 kilowatts. So we know the battery was properly heated, and we did this multiple times, and the EA ones just never worked for us, and it's very disappointing. And yeah, they just definitely need to get that fixed, or Tesla needs to just get out there.
Honestly, with this happening, I can see EA just disappearing. Because if Tesla's really going to do this big push, I don't think EA has the uptime to be able to get this.
These others as well. It's like
maybe,
if they don't have a big enough network, a big enough piece of the pie, are they going to be a viable solution? Are they going to be able to have a charging network when Tesla already has it? But then you're going to have the other issue is a monopoly and stuff like that. So it remains to be seen.
You know what, though? If someone can just do it and do it right, that's all I really care about. Because EA which is Electrify America, by the way, they turn people away from buying EVs because they see all these horror stories and everything else because their chargers suck. So I don't like EA to begin with.
Yeah, but like I said, you don't have to worry about they're going to do it overnight. And also, we've heard some talk of the new V4 superchargers and how they're going to have a magic plug or something, a special connector that will maybe be CCS, but you can plug in and it will have the North American charging standard for Tesla vehicles on there, so it could kind of swap an adapter off that stays locked onto the supercharger cabinet itself. So hopefully they'll have that with longer cables, which will allow vehicles to park and charge properly. And because we have seen horror stories from some supercharger locations in Europe where cars are parked parallel or perpendicular and blocking 3 stalls, and so we don't want that to happen. So hopefully Tesla can properly, paint the lines and have the cable of sufficient length and get the job done.
But also on that note, I really think hopefully Tesla doing this, maybe other EVs, like some kind of standardization of where the plug should be, should happen. Because like, look at gasoline cars. They're almost always on the back left.
Well,
there's some exceptions.
Some are on the right, some are on the left.
There's some exceptions, but you need something more standardized because you have it on the front, either the left or the middle or the right, and same with the rear. You can have it all over, and something needs to be more standardized.
Each location, I think, has its benefits, but I can see some locations are a lot worse than others. I don't like how some of them are like in front of the driver's side door, because if you're parking on the street, you have to bring the cable all the way around, which can be the same as said with Tesla, where it's sticking on. So that's why the passenger side might be better in some cases, but some people like the front because then you can just pull straight in. There's no one solution that's going to please everyone.
As long as something's agreed upon.
Yeah.
Because if I go to a supercharger and a car is pulled wonky, taking up several charging spots, I'm gonna be rightfully pissed.
And I've seen a lot of like stations in like Europe where they're pull through, kind of like a gas station,
Yeah.
where you can serve multiple vehicles, and people, if they have it on the left, they can pull into this one. If they have it on the right, they can pull in that one.
It also works better for hauling.
Trailers and stuff like
Yeah.
that too. So hopefully we'll start seeing some of those superchargers coming to the United States.
Yep.
With that layout.
Definitely. Rob said, headline, Derek says EA will fail as Tesla succeeds. Yeah, quote it. Because that's exactly how I feel. Next up, though. This has been kind of coming a long time in the making. There's been a lot of talks about where the next gigafactory is going to be. Is it going to be in India? Maybe. Is it going to be in Canada? Maybe. But this just in, it was a few days ago. Tesla Mexico is a very high probability, and the actual, I believe it was the prime minister or
President, maybe.
yeah, the minister. Sorry, not the prime minister. The minister said that Elon is actually going to be coming down and speaking with the Mexican president very soon to actually discuss the logistics and actual timeline and stuff like that. So I think actually the next giga we might see is in Mexico, which I have nothing wrong with. I think that's great. I know India has been really wanting one as well, and Elon has met with some authority there. And it seems like a lot of countries are really wanting to bring this there because they realize along with this comes a lot of jobs, which helps the economy. And Tesla is here to stay, which is kind of nice that like all these governments are actually seeing that and kind of fighting for the right to have a gigafactory there.
And speaking of gigafactories, we don't have this on our list, but there was some big news out of the Gigafactory 2 there in Buffalo last week, where a lot of them were accusing Tesla of firing them because they were trying to form a union, and then Tesla came out with, counterpoint to like all of the arguments.
Yeah.
Responding to those, saying no, there's regular performance and evaluations like every 6 months. They're not prevented from going to the bathroom.
Key metrics they have to meet.
And actually, only one of the employees that was laid off or fired was actually part of that union group. The other 24 or however many there weren't. So it's interesting reading, to see Tesla's response on that. But it'll be interesting to see how that turns out, because we do know that Elon doesn't like unions, and he's done quite well with Tesla's production without unions, and we do know that some other people really prefer unions, but it's interesting that I don't think Tesla was in the wrong on this based upon what I've heard so far and read so far.
I agree, and also we did put this poll on Twitter, which 472 people voted. If you're one of them, thank you. And I was just Tesla employees in New York considered unionizing. Should they or shouldn't they? Explain reasoning in reply. And there are a lot of good replies on here. And to be honest, I am on the no union side. I don't even think I voted in this. I don't remember. But I'm on the no union side. Some people absolutely love unions. I just don't see them as being super beneficial anymore. I know back in the day they were, because there really weren't super strict employment laws and anything that looked out for the employees. So that's kind of what did it for people.
Also, people weren't as mobile as they were in the past.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
you couldn't move around. There's like there's one company in
one
that
factory
town.
in
That's
town.
where you worked, and so you needed some protection. But nowadays, the workforce is a lot more mobile. You don't work at the same company for 50 years.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I think if you don't like your job,
find a new one.
Find a different job.
And see, that's like the thing I'm big on. If I don't like the company I'm working at, I'll just leave and find another. I feel
you don't
plenty
make
of
other
opportunities.
people miserable, I guess, or
exactly,
or you have to make them pay.
Yeah.
To help you make your job better.
My attitude is, if you don't like it, find another job. I don't think unions are the answer here, and it's kind of been laid out. They're gonna lose a lot of good benefits they have now, and I just don't think they need it. Personal opinion. Do I work for Tesla though? No. So I don't really have a huge dog in this fight, but as an investor, I don't think it's the right move.
And speaking of investment, has anyone seen the stock price?
Yes.
What's happened over
Oh my
the
God,
last,
we're
6
like
weeks, 7 weeks?
We're killing these
it's
transitions.
Like, yes, Tesla's stock price fell greatly.
Yeah.
And it was like at a 6-month low, something like that. But it has recovered. Yeah. It's nearly doubled in the past few weeks. If
you would have bought in early 2023, you would have seen probably almost a 2x on your return. So that's really great for anyone who might have done that.
It's still down if you bought it, further back, but it doesn't show any sign of slowing down. So I definitely think it'll be making up for those losses here soon.
But just like David and I were having a conversation about it the other day, and I came home and he was like, "Did you see Tesla stock rose?" And I was like, how does that work? They just talked about the recall, and David pointed out
whenever there's bad news, the stock price goes up, and whenever there's good news, the stock price tanks.
Yeah, it makes zero sense,
So
but that's how it always works.
324,000 vehicles, stock price drops $6.27.
Yeah,
Whatever.
So it's very bizarre, but I am very happy that it has gone up because it's just paper loss. But I was still looking fine, but some of it wasn't great. But I did buy in a lot at the low hundreds, so we are here to play, here to stay.
Yeah. And with that, I think that's it for
that's it for the
topics.
news.
If we've left anything else, definitely bring it up in chat, or if you have any questions, we're open to chat now, and let's talk some more Tesla.
Yep. Real quick, Diego said last time we took tequila shots because it was $1,200. And it dipped 90%, but that was not $1,200 pre-split.
Yeah, we've had a couple splits, I think, since then.
I think that $1,200 was it a 5 split?
There was a 5, and then I think there was another 3 split after that. So I think we have 15.
Not quite ready for another tequila shot, and we're very, very tired.
Yes, we did.
I guess we'll tell you a little bit about that since we're done with the news. We're done with all that. So now we'll just talk. If you guys have questions, throw them in chat and we'll try to get to them. But basically, the past 2 days, you have slept 0, and I have slept very minimal. Basically, Saturday, I worked in the morning. Then we took a flight to Vegas, went and saw a show, didn't get a hotel, didn't sleep, went to the airport at 1 a.m., flew back to Denver this morning. Yeah. I went back to work for a little while, and now we are here.
Yeah, so no sleep last night, but it was
a great night.
And we didn't just go by ourselves. We took our exchange student with us
Yep.
because we wanted. Yeah, he's a little
we took a
younger.
15-year-old to Vegas,
He's a
so
little young for Vegas, but we took him to see a nice Cirque du Soleil show.
Yeah,
and he loved it. And just seeing all the lights on the strip and stuff like that, it was a great experience. He really had fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a very quick trip, though. I think we were in Vegas for 12 hours?
Something like that. But it was we used the airplane miles, so it was free. Didn't cost anything for that.
But
so it was a fun getaway.
Show tickets. Dang, they're expensive.
Yeah. Well, the tickets are one thing, but then you have those resort fees on top of that. So.
We spent 4 Tesla shares on tickets for the show. That's how we're going to refer to everything by now. If something's $200, it's a Tesla share. That's how we're going to start referring to stuff. Just for funsies. But yeah, if you have any questions, throw them in chat. We'll go ahead and work through them. Let me see where we're at here. Chim said, imagine losing $100 per share for your employee benefits this quarter. Yeah, pretty much. That's what would happen if they go to unions. They will lose a lot of that. Did you have something?
Nope, not yet.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
I was going to say, when we're talking about charging, I don't know, well, you might not be there, but I saw Roger's comment about having charge ports on both sides of the car. And I was like, yeah, that would be great. Especially, we talked about that years ago. It's it would be nice if they're going to do that, have the Tesla port on one side and you could have CCS on the other.
That would be cool.
No adapter needed.
You've talked about that a lot.
And it would give you twice the flexibility. The only thing is, I guess it would cost more for that port, and it's but they could make it an option. You don't need to make it standard on every vehicle, but maybe make it a $300 or $400 option, so the people who want those dual charge ports can, pay to have that on there.
Yeah. So devil's advocate here, get rid of CCS. Problem solved.
That's another thing which Tesla is, saying, can we make this the standard? And
yeah.
So.
Just get rid of it.
Some of the wording, it sounds like, if some other manufacturer takes that on, such as Aptera, other companies, maybe this will be the standard and it can replace CCS.
And I would love to see Rivian do it too.
Yeah, and and that we talked about even with the Rivian, it's it'd be nice if it had, or even the Cybertruck. Can you have multiple charge ports on that? So. Yeah.
Speaking about the Rivian, though, Tesla Talk said, any luck selling the Rivian yet?
Oh yeah.
So we'll talk about this. So we're still keeping several EVs. Don't think we're just not ever going to be here. One, the Model X is our favorite car ever. Absolutely love it. Still have it. I'm not going to say never going to sell it, but I have no plans to sell it because I freaking love that car. and some cool videos coming on that. Now, the Model 3 sold 2 hours after I posted the video.
2 hours. So
that went very, very quick. And the gentleman was...
as high as we should have. But
and,
hey, we thought it was a fair deal. And
yeah, the gentleman was supposed to come up and get it, but ran into some snow. So he's going to be coming up this Saturday to come get it. Sad to see it go, but happy to show you the new one. Or new car, I should say. And then
amazed that it's in like 2 hours.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. And then the Model S and the Rivian, it's a lot of inquiries, but no one's come with the cash yet.
A lot of tire kickers. And a lot of people are like, well, look, I could buy this one for $2,000 less. I'm like, then
buy it.
That one.
Buy that one.
This is ours. This is what we're selling. It's got other features that aren't on that one, such as the carbon fiber interior, which is very unique for a long-range Model S 2022.
Yeah, and like I'm not opposed to people like saying like, could you do this or could you do that? But at the same point, like, if you found one that was slightly cheaper, then just do that.
Yeah. And another thing too is we have gotten some offers, but we noticed that when we were lowering the price of the car, the price of the offers was going down too. So we're just like, stop with the weekly price cuts because it was just reducing the amount that was being offered.
And we're not in a rush to really sell them because
the car's paid for. We have the title.
All the cars are paid off. The only thing we have to worry about now is insurance and the registration, which, to be honest, at the grand scheme of it, is pretty minimal.
Yeah, but
so
that's penny or dollar or whatever. But compared to we're not in a rush. It's not going to be a fire sale. We're not giving the car away. It's still a great car. I'd rather keep the S because it still has that range. It's like over 400-mile range. So for all those road trips we go on, especially when I'm by myself or just two of us, it's great for the range. But yeah, that Model X is great when we take it with several people in the vehicle. And so much more comfortable. I was back in the, it's just nice to be able to have that so much room in the back.
Yeah, so right now, the S and the Rivian are still here, and if they don't sell, no biggie. We still have other videos coming with them, so I'm not in a rush to sell them. Let's see. Roger said, my investment guy actually calls me for advice about Tesla because I see a lot more news and inside info than he does. He was thinking about buying a 120 a share and is kicking himself now. I mean, missed opportunity. Let's see real quick. Amy, I need to, give you confetti. Thank you for the $5 super chat. However, I don't have puppy cam set up. And for that, I apologize.
Yeah, we're still moving things around.
Hold on. Let me take a photo of the puppies. Oh, it's on selfie mode. Yikes. Let me take a photo of the puppies. Let's get a good one. And I will show you the puppies currently resting, being good puppies.
They are here. They're at work. Yeah.
So that is the puppy situation currently right down here. But I'll work on getting that. We actually were just talking about it before we went live on kind of some things. I have some projects I really need to get done. So thank you though for the $5, Amy. Again, tips I appreciate, or donos, but definitely don't feel like anyone needs to do that. But thank you. Amy said, should we start a poll? How many Red Bulls Eric has had in the past 24 hours? 0. I actually haven't had Red Bull in quite a while. I'm pretty proud of that.
Well, you have some other...
I drink energy drink powder now, so... But the powder I drink doesn't have any sugar, so we're good. And I only drank like one of those today because I was dragging. Let's see. Jim said, there are scandals about show tickets if you search online. Oh yeah, and I've seen them, and like the resort fees and every other fee they tack onto that is just stupid. Just
put in the prices.
Yeah,
that's
thanks.
way we know up front, because otherwise you say, oh, I can afford this, and you go to check out, you're like, what? It just like up 30%.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of resort fees and stuff, like your tweet about Uber yesterday.
Yeah, Mando just said that. Yeah.
When we were in Las Vegas, it's nice that there were so many Teslas there, and we were able to use exclusively Tesla Ubers when we were getting around Vegas. We did walk a lot. We walked almost 11 miles, but we did take several Ubers yesterday and today as well. Yeah, that's today, huh? As well. And it was amazing though when talking with our last Tesla driver. He said that he clears almost $150,000 a year as an Uber driver with his Tesla.
But part of that was crazy because he pays $400 or 400 and something a week for the Model 3 lease and insurance. Yes, there's no mileage like maximum, but that's
Seems a little, like,
crazy money.
overpriced, yeah.
If you're making 150K a year,
You can buy that Tesla.
Buy
with
that
a few
puppy.
months worth of earnings. Buy it, then pay your insurance, and I think in the long run it'd definitely be a lot cheaper. But props to him for doing so well, doing a job he likes.
But
but he does
that
put
being
in some
said,
hours, yes.
he said he does do like 8 to 10 hours a day, normally 7 days a week, unless he travels to go see family or something. So he's putting it in.
Yeah.
But props.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty awesome to see. So it was great though. We only did Uber EVs and we only got Tesla Model 3s.
Yeah.
And we had what?
We would've-
4 or
we
5 Ubers
I don't
for the
know,
night?
probably 5 or 6, yeah,
Oh,
because
5 or
we had
6,
2
yeah.
the airport from. But it's not that we only chose the 3, but they're just the most
Yes.
common. There were so many Model 3s. It was just like, it was funny because when we were waiting in the line, there's like, oh, there's a midnight silver metallic. Oh, we had to go, in Nevada, they don't have the front license plate, so you can't see if that's your Uber from the front. You have
Yeah.
to go around and look at the back of the car to see if that's the right one. So
Yeah.
but it was nice. It's nice that we can, when we travel, we can still just do Teslas.
Yep. Matt said, any Highland rumors, new paint, stock deletes. So I would think new paint, no, because the paint factory is still kind of blah. And that's like huge. I think we would see if they're like installing a new paint line or something. Stock delete potential. I could see them removing stocks on the 3 and the Y because that's gone over really well on the S and the X. I've been really happy without having stocks. I haven't had any issues.
And we did see that, now in the upgraded S and X, they do offer a regular steering wheel instead of the yoke. But yeah, I don't have any problem with
No,
yoke.
we're yoke.
Yeah.
We're yoked. That's what we feel.
I think it really is more comfortable on road trips just because to put your hand on the bottom there.
Yeah.
It takes a couple drives to get used to it, but after that, I have no problems with it.
Yeah.
Only complaint maybe is that they still don't have that center horn. That they put the horn button over there, and you can cover the buttons up, but it'd be nice if they put it back so you don't have to think about the horn if you do need to use it. Fortunately, we don't need to use it too often.
Yo. Let's see. Barna, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Said vision only FSD beta is not as good as vision only in my driving San Francisco. Car ignores right turn on red signs for starters.
Yeah.
Radar used to see through the car in front. And see, that's the thing is
I
like,
love that feature. Yeah, remember
Yes.
when that came out?
yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome when that came
'Cause
out because
it
we'd
first-
see cars in
yeah.
front that were
I
hard to
remember
see in
because
general.
That was back, in 2017 or something
Yeah.
like that? Because when it first came out, you could only see the car in front of you, and then there was a software update, and now you could see other cars in front, and that was cool. And we
Yeah.
lost that when they got rid of radar, so I'm glad to see radars coming back. And again, I don't see how they can do vision only for like parking in a tight garage because you can't see for probably
Yeah.
3 feet in front of the vehicle.
Well, that's I think
even
where
with their persistence and stuff like that,
Yeah.
what if somebody goes and puts a bike or
an animal walks through
something
after
there,
yeah.
you can't see in front or behind everywhere. So
But I think that's where hardware 4 comes in with the added cameras.
yeah, it's just like, but all these cars they've been selling for the last few months without
So also,
ultrasonics.
why? I know they removed ultrasonics probably to make it a little cheaper, but then they're adding more cameras.
I think it was a parts shortage or something.
Oh, okay,
like
that makes a little bit more sense. I don't know. I guess we'll see how it works out.
Because there's other car manufacturers that stopped offering like the ultrasonics, and there's unless you paid for an upgraded trim. And
That's crazy.
Since Tesla doesn't
Wow.
want to have all these different packages,
Yeah.
they just got rid of it on all of them.
Okay. Speaking of, I did see a Ford F-150 Lightning the other day, and it actually said heated steering wheel delete as a line item,
Delete.
and you can't get heated steering wheels, I guess, on new ones. So that sucks. Jim said, when you get a chance, search Taylor Swift Ticketmaster scandal.
Uh-oh.
Bedtime story. There you go. I'll do that later. Capturing the Awesome said all Teslas here in Australia have CCS2 as standard. Yeah, and I think it's going to be different based on country. But I think here in North America, we should just Tesla adapter it. My opinion. Diego said the Model 3 you sold, was it for the price you talked about in the video? If so, it was a smoking deal, very low miles and FSD. Yeah, it was $35,420.69.
Yes, 420.69. Yeah.
Mission accomplished,
Exact
baby.
asking price.
Yep. So yeah, that's funny.
Maybe we should ask for more, but he got a good deal.
It's okay. The gentleman that bought it actually said that he's been a viewer for a really long time, so I'm glad to see it's going to a viewer
exactly.
and
It's
going to
cool
get a
that
good home.
We've sold so many vehicles over the years, and it's nice that we do have viewers that know they can trust us, and it's nice to make some friends along the way too. Such
Definitely.
as Amy and Roger and Chris, and
Yeah.
we keep it.
Honestly, we've sold a lot of you guys in chat cars, so I'm just saying.
No, Diego still hasn't bought one.
Okay, Diego, you got an S or a Rivian, your choice, man. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. That's gonna be the new rule to be a mod. You have to buy a car. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Rich said, when do you think the U.S. gets the new silver and red paint colors?
I don't.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if anything, it's gonna be Austin build. I don't really see Fremont doing that, which sucks because I really think that new silver is amazing, and I would really like
I love
it.
That. Just like when we first saw the
the matte
Model
one.
3 when it was first rolled onto the stage years ago.
Yeah.
2016. Wow.
I know, time flies. Let's see. Amy said you should know that I would have asked. Yes. We all love the dogs, and I do apologize for the dog cam. I need to work on that. I don't even know where it is right now.
I
It's
see
not up there.
Luke brought up the point about the superchargers, and we were praising Ubers
Yes.
and Teslas, but then Luke brings up, yes, the superchargers are clogged with
Yeah.
Tesla drivers, and I can see that being an issue for local drivers who need to charge at those superchargers. One cool thing here in Denver, it doesn't necessarily help with the Tesla drivers, but the Hertz car rental out at the airport is putting in a supercharger. I think it's going to be 8 stalls, and so that's just going to be for the Tesla rental.
That's awesome.
So that will help people renting Teslas, and hopefully by setting up that supercharger, it will take the load off of the other superchargers near the airport, and then there'll be more for regular. Yeah.
Which is ideal because no one really wants
Are
to
we
pick up a
good?
Tesla
Is
that's
it-
low.
Having problems or?
It says excellent connection.
Yeah, okay.
Thumbs up in chat if we're still live, I guess. Do you want to pull it up?
I am. That's okay. It seems to
Okay.
be back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry
so I
about
could
that.
definitely see that as an issue. I guess we don't though charge our cars typically around town so much.
No.
And so, but I could see that problem if we were traveling on road trips because we do take our.
Say you
road
go to the
trips.
mountains or
That
something
would be
after
bad
flying
if
in.
we had to wait in line, because of all the Uber drivers or taxis, or just crowds in general. Because we definitely need more superchargers. But it's amazing to see how far they've come in the last few years.
Yep.
And they're just going to continue expanding, as we've said already. Thousands more locations coming.
Yep. Mando, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate that. I think I missed that, so that is my fault. He said, too bad Tesla banned drone flyovers over Berlin. Hopefully they do not do the same with Joe and other Giga Texas. So yeah, I did see that, and I was kind of disappointed, but that makes me wonder, what are they doing at Giga Texas? Or sorry, Giga Berlin, that they're like, no. I think maybe they could be working on the small car that could be a European market vehicle, and they don't want stuff leaked out. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm out like far left field, but hopefully they can give some people some permission because those updates are pretty awesome. I really enjoy watching those because it's always kind of fun to be like, oh, what's that under the cover or whatever. So yeah, hopefully they don't ban all of them. But I heard the airspace over Giga Berlin is now like a no-fly zone too. So, doing something. But thank you for the super chat, Mando. Really appreciate that. And Mando also said Tesla did drop the price of the CCS adapter.
Yeah.
By what, like $100 something
I
bucks?
think, isn't it down to like
175
or something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah, because we paid more than that, but we got one of the first ones, which was from
South Korea.
Then they released them finally in the United States, and about the same price as what we paid. But yeah, it's nice that they bring that down, but we still haven't had any word about the retrofit for older cars that don't support CCS yet. We do have the option in the app, if you go under service for a vehicle that doesn't have CCS compatibility, there's an option there and it says you can check it. It says it's still expected, early 2023. So hopefully those kits will come out.
TBD.
There are some people who do offer their own kits, and depending on the age of your car, it can be really simple, or where you just have to buy the charge port, or you might have to buy this bundle of wires. But it's not that hard. I've heard other people like 2012, 2013 Model S's have been upgraded to CCS. So it's not difficult, but I would probably want to stick with the official Tesla, wiring harness or whatever that they're going to use, that bundle of wires, get the official retrofit kit and have Tesla do it ourselves. But it is nice that these enterprising guys and that are able to figure out and get it working on these older cars.
I would just be afraid, like, if we bought a charging thing that's like really from a different company and something went wrong, Tesla would be like, nope.
Yeah,
Not touching it.
Those older cars, though, those older cars are already like
Out of warranty.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. And the charge port itself is a genuine Tesla part. The newer ones, it's just the wiring bundle and I forget the ECU or whatever it's called is Tesla genuine part as well.
Yeah. John said would love to drink some fine whiskey with you two. I'm not opposed to whiskey. Maybe someday. Maybe at like a Tesla event or something. No, normally drinks are flowing there. Let's see. Luke. I always mess this up, and that's my bad. Is it Luke?
Yeah, that's where we were
Yeah.
talking about the superchargers.
Oh yeah, superchargers in Chicago, 80%. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Chris said I have had Teslas for 5 years now, so a lot of my work friends have been renting Model 3s, and I got a call last week about how to charge. And see, like, I actually kind of love those calls from friends that are like, hey, what is this about? Like, what is this? And actually, so my company's based in Sweden, and I just got a text from my boss who is in Sweden the other day, like, check out these Tesla superchargers that they installed just down the street. So I kind of like those messages. They make me feel wanted, I guess, and helpful. Roger said Tesla Bjorn didn't have anything good to say about the yoke. I love the yoke. I don't have any issues with it.
We do have some traffic circles or roundabouts here as well.
Yeah.
Maybe not as many as in Europe.
True.
But again, it just took me a couple drives to get used to it. I don't complain about it now. If it had a better steering wheel, I'd probably be fine with that. But I'm not going to go pay to retrofit a regular steering wheel on the yoke because it works fine for us.
But see, like, so I normally drive like the S or X refresh. And anytime I drive the Rivian, I'm like, oh, this could use like a yoke. And anytime I get into like the 2017 S or the 2018 Model 3 that I was driving the other day, I was just like, oh, I'm kind of like used to the yoke now. So that's kind of what I'd prefer. But I mean, to each his own. I like the idea that they're doing options now so that you can pick whatever you would prefer. That I think is key. Jim said green, the only leaked details about the 2 new CPU and 4 cameras being on the bumpers. Yep. We covered that a little earlier. I'm excited to actually get my hands on one of those cars. Check it out. We should hear about it March 1st. Let's see.
Speaking of March 1st, January, February, March, what's going to happen in April with the tax credit? We still don't know,
Also valid.
because it remains to be seen because the government's still trying to figure out all the rules on that. We do know that they increased the limit recently to up to $80,000 for the purchase price of the Model Y, but I think there's still going to be some sort of rule about content, like how much of it is like the battery or the car is made in the United States. So still no firm details on that yet.
Yeah. Oh, I just smacked the mic. Sorry, everybody. Jay said, I have a November 2022 build 2023 Model Y with ultrasonics. Nice little unicorn.
Oh wow,
that is
one of the last ones probably. Yeah,
that is a good unicorn.
Our 2022 has the ultrasonics as well. Ours is a unicorn in a way that we do have that 16 gigabytes of RAM.
Oh, in the Model S.
In the Model S.
Yep.
Which is odd because we have a very early 2022 build, and there were actually cars built 2-3 months after ours which don't have that RAM. So I don't know how ours made it off the line with it and other ones didn't. So.
But we will take it.
Yeah, it's nice, that functionality, and it's too bad we still don't have any word on that. People are still getting quoted like over $2,000 to upgrade that, and it's only an 8 gigabyte RAM upgrade is all you're effectively getting, so it's not worth $2,000. Hopefully Tesla will kind of honor they didn't make promises, but when the car was released,
they
showed
it
doing gaming. And if it requires 16 gigabytes, they should do the right thing. And hopefully one of these days they'll be offering those upgrades for free or for $100 something. Because all you're getting really, they have to swap out the whole thing, but you're giving them the old core parts back. So if anything, it should be a $100 upgrade, not $2,000.
Yeah. Let's see. By the way, I'm like 10 minutes behind on chat, so we're working through the questions. If you are curious why I haven't gotten there. Roger said millimeter wave radar should be awesome. Have a Doppler radar chronograph that can track a 0.177 inch projectile traveling at the speed of sound. Imagine what the car would see.
That's pretty small.
That's a lot what the car would see. That's some definition. Amy said, I love my heated steering wheel. Roger hates it when I leave it on. I really like the heated steering wheel or yoke. Not going to lie. And Chris said he also likes it. Let's see. Amy said she calls dibs on the X. But then Diego said, I would love your X as well. To be clear, the X is not for sale. We really, really like the X. We've used it on several road trips. And even around town, like, it just is so great.
When you have more people. I mean, if you only have 2 people, it's not as necessary to have an X. But definitely when you have like 3, 4, you know, or 5 or 6, definitely nice to have that X.
Yeah. Let's see. Diego said, what are we expecting for March 1st? Any big news you think? Yes, definitely I'm really thinking hardware 4 announcement, because since Green was able to get his hands on one of the new hardware 4 computers and what we've seen with the Model 3s rolling around, I would say 99% one shot of Tesla tequila, if I'm wrong, that they will announce that it's in production right now, because that's normally what Tesla does, is they don't announce something until it's in production.
Yeah, and I don't know if we'll be seeing this new Model 3 refresh coming out on March 1st, but it's coming soon, I think, because we've heard that, like, in China, they're shutting things down
at the end of Feb
to get things ready for those changes. And if I heard some cool new features and stuff coming, but I don't think it's going to be revolutionary, but it will be at least something different, something newer.
Yeah. Matt actually said, spitball some Investor Day predictions. Optimus preview, Model 2 preview.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so kind of like what we just added, I don't think Model 2 would be that. I think that's going to be its own thing. I think that is so big, it's not going to be there. Optimus, maybe we'll see a little bit more of that. I'm more expecting a lot of talk about hardware 4, what that's going to include. Maybe we'll see the Model 3 refresh. Stuff like that. I think the Model 2 is going to hopefully be its own thing. I think that should be a huge event. Let's see. Do you have anything that you would like to see from Investor Day?
No, but since it is Investor Day, I don't know if we're going to see anything like that, because some of these announcements have always been their own separate announcements. Yeah. But then again, when they did talk about the S and X refresh, I think that came at the end of one of the, their quarterly meetings, wasn't it? So who knows? Yeah. I'm not going to make any predictions, but but we'll be hearing stuff soon, I'm sure, in the month of March.
I guess if we don't hear about the hardware 4, I have to take a shot. So, bummer. Let's see. What do you guys think about Tesla bringing back ultrasonics to the Model 3 and Model Y? Are they bringing them back? I thought they were gone. Gone.
Or maybe, do we think they should? Maybe.
Or do we think they should? I mean, I guess it really depends on if they can make it work and work well.
I wish they wouldn't have taken it away, because, again, I really like being able to pull in the garage and see it's like 14 inches, 13 inches, 12 inches, and know that, I have that space, and there's no way they can do that. Even with vision, they can't see what they can't see. Yeah. There's no camera down there on the bumper. So if they had the cameras down there, maybe I wouldn't be minding the missing ultrasonics, but there's no cameras on those cars. The cars built for the last few months.
Yeah, true. Colorado Model Y is in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Said Tesla bourbon announced on March 1st, ? I would buy it. I'm in. Let's do it. That'd actually be pretty cool. Diego said, don't play with my emotions. Still waiting for my bottle of burnt hair. Same, actually. I don't know why I ordered that.
You might want to explain that to some of the people who don't know what you're
Yeah, so it's a Boring Company product, and they came out with burnt hair fragrance. I don't know why I bought it. I still think it was a terrible idea. I'm never going to use it, but I want to see it. Yeah, so here we are. I guess we'll see when that gets shipped. And I did actually buy the $300 wireless Qi charger to check out. So as soon as I get that, that'll be a video. It's supposed to ship this month. Yeah, that was not one of my best money moves. It was 2.5 shares of Tesla.
You could have probably bought 10 regular Qi chargers or more regular Qi chargers, and
I agree.
Oh well.
Yeah.
We do it for the the science. And
For the science. Yeah. Yep. John said, did you see Out of Spec reported that Bakersfield, California supercharger had 8 of 10 stalls not working? I didn't, but that's not good. Hopefully Tesla can get them up ASAP. Not ideal.
But nobody's perfect. There's always going to be something that doesn't work, because I've heard stories of the whole town loses power. So of course, this is not Bakersfield, but other cases like in Oklahoma and stuff where they had the whole town loses power, and nobody's going to be up 100%. But in our road trips, we've never found more than maybe 1 or 2, from what I recall, stalls that weren't working. Yeah. And we've always been able to complete our trips with no problem.
I'm just looking up this charging thing.
It is nice though. Now that when you do supercharge, I noticed that there's a little survey in the app that asks how's your charging experience went, so you can provide feedback and say, hey, these stalls aren't working, and if you don't want to call in, because there is a number you can call right there on the side of the supercharger. Every single one, there's a sticker like right here, and you can call that number and tell them, hey, this stall's not working. And so Tesla has been very responsive. In our observation, they've been really responsive in getting things up and running again.
The key is we just need to make sure we tell them. They should see it, but it's always a good idea to tell them.
Yeah, it's nice that Tesla superchargers do have that self-reporting feature now. At least most locations. I don't know if all of them out in the boonies do, but it's nice that they do that.
Yep. Real quick, there was some talk about the CCS adapters not being online. So if you just go to the shop and then you go to charging and you go down, it's just right here. It's under on the road. So I think if you do charging up here and click on the road, it's right here.
Yeah, and again, we've used ours a few times, not that we needed to, just because we were testing it out. And we got 150 on the EAs, no problem, but the other other EA chargers were not working properly.
Right.
And we did use other networks like Volta as well, and we were able to top out on those, which was only like 50 kilowatts, but it worked great.
Yep.
Nice to have an alternative.
Yeah. Creighton said, have you seen discounts on inventory S and X? I haven't, but I really haven't been looking at S and X too much lately. David said, that just talked about the CCS. Hopefully you can find it. Amy said, Roger can fit in the back seat of an X, so I would love it for road trips. Although the other day you were sitting in the back. Yeah. When we went to the airport, and you were having the time of your life.
It was nice to be able to stretch my legs a little bit more. And we did have a little, there's a little project you're working on in the back with the...
Thing.
So I need to sit in the rear, but it gave me a chance to spread my legs there.
Yep. Let's see. Diego said Model 3 long range still not available on the website, so they might talk about the refresh. Possibly.
Yeah, hopefully.
That is still a good point that it's not there. Mando said Holmars posted FSD beta 11.3 release notes. Good stuff. Thank God, because I've been wanting to see that. Let's see. Can we do like a breaking news? Should we do breaking news? Is it just now? It's breaking news. Wow. Okay. Breaking news. Wait, there are no pending updates, but wait. I don't see them. Okay, clickbait, maybe? Bait and switch? Does he not have them? We'll look. Anyway, I want to see those. Let's see, what else? Where was I? Diego said, so people without the radar don't get inches measurement on the screen. Always wondered that. Isn't that correct?
I think so. I thought some people were still seeing like the little color bars, like red or orange or whatever like that. But I don't think they're still seeing those inches. Our cars still have ultrasonics, but yeah, let us know if any of you do have newer vehicles that don't have ultrasonics. But from what I can recall, they don't see that anymore, and I don't see how they could provide that accuracy without ultrasonics.
True. And actually, real quick, here are the release notes. So it just goes through a bunch of stuff. It's a lot to go through right now, but definitely check it out. It's on Holmar's blog Twitter. I'm gonna check that out after this. Amy said, how many people actually ordered burnt hair with the intent to use it? Hopefully none, because I don't want anyone smelling like burnt hair. That's not attractive.
think they would keep it as like a collector's item.
Exactly.
Save it for
A special someone.
years from now.
Let's see. Jim said one theory is that every time Elon has a special product like burnt hair, sexy shorts, and then not a flamethrower, the shorts got burnt soon after. Yeah, that's kind of always been the gist of it, but they're just all funny products. Let's see. John said power was on at the Taco Bell at the same location. Some EAs were not working also.
So it definitely sounds like there's a power issue.
Yeah.
You know, with
Could be.
transformer or something that was feeding the charger.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully they can get it fixed soon regardless. But that is the one nice thing about Teslas. They do have that self-report feature.
Yeah.
And when several people have called EA, they were never made aware of a charger not working. So even if you find a Tesla not working, it's always a good idea to call and make sure they're aware of it.
One thing we didn't mention when we were talking about Tesla, being part of this big, government funds to build and expand the charging network, is that it sounds like I think they've changed the wording so you're no longer required to have like a screen and a credit card reader there. And that's great news, because why have something there that's just going to break when everybody already has a vehicle that's or a device,
a screen in there, yeah.
And I guess maybe some non-Tesla vehicles don't have the ability to do that on the screen, but you would think that most people these day and ages would have a cell phone.
Yeah, and if you have an EV, the EV should be able to tell you.
Yeah, or when we traveled in Europe, Iceland.
Yeah.
You just use the little RFID, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even need an app, or you don't need a screen. You just need to do that so it knows how to identify you.
Right. It just,
what account can be charged. You don't need to have a credit card reading on this, because every time I've seen something with a screen on the outdoors, you can't read it.
Oh, yeah. They fade so quick.
Or the credit card reader at the EA one doesn't work. So that took at least two stalls out of service. So that's cool that the government is recognizing, hey, maybe we don't need these features. There's better ways, more modern ways that can be done.
Yeah. Let's see. Jay said, I used the CCS adapter today. Free charge point in Rhode Island. Tops out at 75, but hey, free. Agreed. And that's why we got the CCS adapter, because one, you never know where you're going to want to go. And if you're staying somewhere overnight and there happens to be a CCS, at least if you have that adapter, you can use it. That being said, though, if I have the choice of a supercharger or CCS, I'll probably always choose a supercharger.
One thing, remember when we went to up in the mountains a few months back?
Yeah.
We came back and like Edward's supercharger was totally slammed.
Yep.
All these Teslas, still no line, or maybe a couple cars started lining up, but we saw some people had CCS adapters. They pulled out, went over to the EA chargers and opened up those slots so the Teslas could charge there. So we thought that was great. We didn't have our adapter back then, so we weren't able. Actually, we did have it, but I don't think we had it the right vehicle. So, yeah, it was in the S, not the X, so we weren't able to do it. But it is nice to have those options. And again, when we tested out of the Volta station, that was nice because it was 50 kilowatts and it was totally free. But then we found out like a couple weeks later, they've changed their business model. They're like, we can't afford to give this away anymore. So it was good while it lasted. But it's nice that there's still other places offering cheap or free fast charging.
Options are what we love, so it's good to have it. Let's see. Someone said, really hope they bring back the ultrasonics. I have a long range Model Y on order. Congrats, and hope it'll be available by the time I take delivery. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with our new edition when it finally arrives. James said, what's up with the new YouTube algorithm? Is it just me? What's up with it? I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but I know Susan is leaving YouTube, so I don't know if they're like making big changes or what. Someone else said, I have a 2023 Model Y without ultrasonics, and I don't get any kind of warning as to how close I am to anything. And that's a bummer, because that's really helpful, especially if you're in a tight garage. For instance, your mother's garage.
Oh, yes, it's like this much longer than the car, and she only had Model 3. So.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's nice to have that. I agree. So they need to figure something out for sure. Diego also confirmed that his friend or buddy doesn't get the inches display on his radar Y. Let's see. David said maybe it's because I'm in Austin. They probably just want me to walk over to the Gigafactory and pick it up. That would be cool if they would let you. That would be very cool. But I don't think they really stock those in the Gigafactories. That's the only issue. Hi, Kit. Do you want to be on camera? Oh, well, you can kind of see the dog back. Oh, look, there's Layden. It's Layden. Dog. Oh, too late. Let's see. Trying to see where we are. Roger said he doesn't get the inches away displayed on the screen in his car, but I do in mine. That's weird because Roger definitely has ultrasonics because that used to be our car. So yeah, that's very odd. Alexi, did I pronounce that correct? I believe so.
Yeah.
Said, how's the R1T been treating you guys? Any suspension issues? Keep saying people get rid of their R1T due to too many issues versus the novelty wearing off. We really haven't had any issues, and even my tonneau cover still works.
I mean, there was a couple delivery things, very minor, but nothing that prevented you from driving it. There were a couple of like recalls since then that you took it in, and the car didn't have that problem. And so, yeah, we haven't had any problems. It's a great vehicle. It's just that we need room in the garage.
Yeah.
And so...
yeah, I mean, I really don't mind it. I would love to keep it if we had the room, but also...
we have a 4-car garage.
Yeah.
It is full of 4 vehicles. But if we're going to be adding new vehicles, we need to remove some of the other vehicles.
Yes, precisely. And also, with Tesla stock, the price it is, since these cars were paid in cash, I can potentially take some of that cash and have some fun with it. So, yeah. If they don't sell, I'm not opposed to that either. Timothy said, is the wall charger worth the cost, or should I just go with the mobile wall connector upgrade? David? You're more on the charging side.
Well, those are... there is no mobile wall connector. There's a mobile connector.
Oh, he did say... is the wall charger worth the cost, or should I go with the mobile connector?
Okay,
that might have been my fault.
So yeah, the mobile. It just depends what your setup is, how how fast you want to be able to charge. We have wall connectors installed, and the cool thing we love about the wall connectors that we have is load balancing, and we have multiple vehicles, so we can plug them all in, and the load is automatically applied. We don't need to worry about blowing or flipping a circuit breaker or something like that, because it's able to balance the load, and we don't have to worry about scheduling them at different times. It will automatically just do that for us. And what's one thing, if you only are using, if you do have multiple cars and you are using mobile connector, you'd have to be more aware of that, and you would have to have like two, like 30 amp outlets or 50 amp outlets, what you're going to be using, and then you would have to make sure you have, you'd have to do that yourself and make sure that you're handling that. Most people aren't in that situation. I'd say it's a lot cheaper if you already have the outlet in the garage for like a dryer outlet or something, 30 amps. Just buy the adapter, pigtail or whatever you want to call the dongle, and use that and save a couple $100. But the nice thing is the wall connectors for Tesla are very good compared to some other alternatives for other manufacturers that cost twice as much, 3 times as much. So it's a good product.
Yeah, and I really like the wall chargers. Personal preference. Or connector. Sorry, I keep messing that up. Because I like to keep the mobile in the car in case you ever need it.
We never take it out.
Because like with your mother, we have the wall connector hung up. And it's not
mobile connector.
Or mobile.
She has the mobile connector.
See, I'm terrible at this. That's why I gave it to you, because I'm really bad at this. The mobile connector we have like hung up and zip tied, so it's not like it's easy to take down. So also, she doesn't really need a wall charger, so that's another reason why we haven't really wall connect. See, I'm terrible at this. I'm just gonna shut up.
But yeah,
you know what I mean.
It depends on your driving too. If you don't need to charge the fastest and stuff like that, you can get by with the mobile connector. But if you like it to be built in and be able to charge the fastest possible, like some days, we want to charge the cars at 48 amps. But if we're not in a rush, my mom charges hers at like 12 amps or whatever, 15 amps, and so she doesn't drive as much, so that works for her.
Yeah, it's really whatever works for you. You don't need the wall connector, but it's kind of nice to have it. Roger said Will bought an F-150 Lightning and was showing how you could go to the chargers for free, then use the onboard inverter to charge your home storage battery from the truck. And see, I think that's what Tesla's afraid of if they go vehicle to grid, is people just using superchargers. There's got to be a way to not do that unless you need it.
But now that they've gotten rid of free supercharging, for
Yeah.
the most part, they're still offering it with certain vehicles or
True.
certain number of miles. It's not something I think they need to worry about. But the problem is they need that dedicated, like, two-way charging hardware, because technically now I think it's only supposed to be one. You know, they're not supposed to be powering your house from your Tesla.
Yeah.
And yeah, if they had a more, a better charging port and other infrastructure there, parts, then maybe they would support it. But yeah, that's what the Powerwalls are for, and they're trying to sell the Powerwalls, and we love our Powerwalls. But I wouldn't mind if we could charge another car, from one of our Teslas, or power the house temporarily. But that's, again, you can't just expect to power your whole house. You're going to need a transfer switch or something like that. So as the grid's down, the power would automatically be routed from your car. You don't want to be out there flipping a switch and possibly sending power back to the grid when there's somebody working on the lines.
Yeah, so it's not like you can just buy a truck and immediately plug it into your home. You need other equipment on your house.
Yeah, it costs thousands of dollars,
So,
or several hundred plus
yeah.
professional installation. There's a few people that can do it themselves, but again, you're going to need special hardware. It's not just the truck. You need something else.
Yep. Steven asked, did we finally get the camera upgrade on and FSD on your 2017 Model S? And we can rejoice.
Yeah, right
This
at-
deserves confetti.
Yeah. Right
But
at the end
yes.
of January. It took a long time because, we bought that car back in March of 2017. Upgraded, like we said, we upgraded the MCU. We upgraded autopilot computer. We upgraded some of the cameras ourselves just to get the better recording on the dash cam and on Sentry mode. But that still didn't give us the FSD beta because all of the cameras need to be updated. We took it into Tesla like over a year ago. Tried to get the cameras upgraded, but they didn't install some of them. Some of them were still the older RCC-C cameras, not the RCC-B. So finally went ahead and inquired about that earlier this year, and we got all the cameras upgraded that needed to be upgraded back at the end of January. And within like 2 hours, we received the full self-driving beta. So it took almost 6 years, but we finally got it.
Yeah. Amen to that. That car. Yeah.
And we might have some news on that car shortly.
TBD.
TBD.
Let's see.
But it was neat to see the new those visualizations.
On
looks
that
just
one.
the same on the 2017 vehicle as on our 2022 Model S and Model X. Well, not the S, on the Model X,
Yep.
because we don't have FSD beta on the S.
Yeah. Colorado Model Y said need the room in the garage for a semi.
Yeah,
I think I need a new garage for the semi.
Yeah, we'd have to make a bigger garage for that.
But I'm not opposed to getting that. Not opposed. Timothy said, I'm getting away with one supercharge a week and a 120 volt connector right now. It's not horrible. And see, it's really different situations for whatever works, to be honest.
Yeah, because if you just needed a few miles here or there, the 120 volts will work fine. 15 amps, or you can get 620 outlets, something just with a few more, it works.
Yep. Connor said, y'all are alive. Yes, we are. Let's see. Luke said the corded mobile connector at 200 is a good deal too. Agreed. Definitely agree on that.
We actually had one. Remember when we had like one of the very first corded mobile connect? No, that was a corded wall connector.
Yeah, that was a corded wall connector. It was crazy.
Maybe he meant wall connector, because all of the mobile connectors, I don't think they have a hardwired, or not hardwired, but they don't have one without dongles on mobile connector. So I think he's talking about the corded wall connector, which does have the 1450 plug on it.
Yeah.
Because we had one of the very first ones when they came out several years ago, and it was like shipped to some people, and by mistake, it wasn't what they expected, and we were able to get it from him and do an unboxing on that, and be like, hey, this is an official Tesla product, but it was like months later before Tesla actually released that officially.
Yeah, that was crazy. That took them forever.
Yeah. But I could definitely see that that's a nice option.
Yeah,
'Cause it allows you, and there are some
pulling
people
these
too
out.
that take the regular wall connector and add their own like pigtail or plug to it. But it's nice that Tesla offers one with that built in.
Yep. So here's real quick what he was talking about. They have the regular mobile
They do have
connector,
one. Wow,
and
I've
then
never
you
seen
have
that
the
one.
1450
Oh,
corded.
That's interesting. That comes from the old round one versus the square bag.
Oh yeah.
So that's like old, like pre 2017, pre December 2017 bag versus,
Yeah.
which is weird. Why did they go back to that? So I
You can
wonder-
see the two different bags.
Do they have? Are these? I don't know. So do those charge at a maximum of how many amps? 32 or 40?
It doesn't say.
Because with that bag, it's like normally when they
Oh
had
wait, here's
round
the
bag-
manual.
When they had the round bag, they charged at 40, and when they went to the square, it was 32 max. And so it's like, is this old stock that they just had sitting in a warehouse for the last 5 years, or is it a new product?
Maximum 40 amp.
See, to me that seems like it's an old product.
Yeah. But hey, 40 amp is even more. So
Just by looking at the bag, that to me looks like it's over 5 years old.
yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's what they were offering 5 years ago.
Let's see. Connor said new cars don't even come with the mobile. Gonna have to get a real charger for my Cybertruck though, since it won't fit in my garage. Yeah, but when you place an order for a car, you can actually like check if you want a mobile connector and everything. So that's kind of nice. Hopefully you actually get it though by the time you get the car. That would not be great. Timothy said for road trip duty, supercharging is a given. Agreed. Capturing the Awesome said, I got my Shanghai Model 3 in late January 2023, built November 23rd, 2022, and has ultrasonic. Yeah, I've had several friends. Oh, wait. Okay, so that is one of my friends. Okay, I had to look at the photo first and make sure it was you. But yes, I can't wait to see what you do with it. But yeah, it is interesting to see how they're changing like that too. Let's see, where
Amy's
are we?
confused about which Model S we're keeping.
Okay, you break it down.
We have the 2017 S100D, which we've had for like almost 6 years now. In a couple more weeks, it'll be 6 years. But we still do have the 2022 Model S, which we've had a little over a year now. And currently, the 2022 Model S is up for sale, but we kind of decided we don't really want to sell it. If somebody will give us, what it's worth, that's a fair price, we'll sell it, but we're not going to give it away. And so I'd rather keep a cool car that I like driving than to just get it out of the garage.
Agreed.
And so really, we're probably not selling either of the S's at this time.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, David said he restarted his phone and now the CCS adapter shows up.
Okay.
So for some reason, maybe it was cached or I don't know, maybe we were hitting some weird server, but glad it worked out. Timothy said, I can't get advanced summon to work. It keeps saying vision system temporarily degraded.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Well, I would check to see, make sure none of the cameras are blocked. Because remember, sometimes when we're driving, we have gotten some message with and it was just, wasn't there like some
There's bird poop.
bird poop in front of the camera? Or
Yeah,
something like that?
I remember that now.
So I would go check all your cameras and make sure and no mud or anything like that on them.
Yeah, true.
And if
I
it
didn't think
still
of that.
doesn't work, then better contact Tesla, open up a service ticket.
Yep. Let's see. Diego said, I'm going to go back to work tomorrow, and there's a live stream today. It feels like 2021 all over again. I hope the pandemic doesn't come back also. Oh, God. Yeah, let's not wish that on us.
Like 3-year anniversary.
Is it really?
It's 2020.
God. Yeah, let's not do that again. Rob said I have 3 different plugs for my mobile connector, standard 20 amp, 30 amp, and 50 amp for use wherever I may be. And that's great because, again, options.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, you are very likely to be able to use something.
Yeah, and there's electricity everywhere.
Yeah.
It's nice. I used to have all
Yeah.
those when we had the old mobile connector. Then when they switched to the newer one in December 2017, Eric bought every single adapter. He looked at those, and then I think he sold some, gave some away, tore some apart to look inside to find the chip that prevents it from overheating. But it's nice to have options. I don't have as many of those, and we don't buy all the adapters anymore because again, almost all of our charging on the road is now on superchargers, but when I do go to other people's houses and stuff, I know what they have, and I take the adapter, like a 650 or something like that. But
Yeah.
or even the J1772 doesn't use the mobile connector, but it's nice that in most places you can, or not most places, but many places you can still rely on the public charging network as well.
Yep. Let's see. Timothy, if that solves your problem, let us know. Or if you find out it's another problem, definitely let us know. Always interested to hear what the potential issue could be. Storm said, I do get the measurements displayed in centimeters, of course. Although technically, isn't that more couldn't one say that's more accurate? Because it's a smaller measurement than inches? I would say so. Not opposed to that. Roger said, I have so much junk for charging that it will fit in my sub trunk, adapters, plugs, a 50-foot NEMA 1450 extension cable, Montana Life. You have a 25-footer, right?
I think it's a 25-foot one.
Yeah.
I bought it years ago, and it is handy to have that. And the one I have is this. It's one that the outlet is just right, so you can use it for 1450 or like 1430, or and one other as well. And you just have to make sure to set the amps correctly. But it's nice to have options, and that way, if I'm at somebody's house and I can't plug in or reach their outlet into the garage by parking in there, I can run my adapter, or extension cord and plug in that way.
Yeah. And actually, what I was going to say earlier, talking about different plugs and keeping stuff with you, we were just at Denver International Airport because we went to Vegas for like 12 hours.
Yeah.
And we went to their charging section and everything was full. But somebody actually had their mobile connector.
Yep.
And they just plugged into a random plug on a wall.
Yep.
And we're just trickle charging.
Yep.
Do what you got to do. I'm not opposed to it. But
it was right down the aisle from the official ones, but it definitely would be good if airports and other public places installed more like level 2 charging, because as more and more electric vehicles out there, there's more and more demand for those, and if you're going to be at a place for more than an hour or two, it definitely makes sense to trickle charge and get a few miles added that way.
Definitely. But the other thing that I did notice that was weird, so they have like the EV charging spots with charging and everything, but then there's some spots that just say hybrid parking spots.
Yeah, it's not even like a plug-in hybrid.
You can't plug in anything.
Yeah.
It's just literally a spot for hybrids to park. And I was like, I didn't realize that was a perk, but all the hybrid parking spots were taken by pure EVs. So I was just like, this is weird. I don't remember seeing that before. So it was kind of like, interesting.
Yeah, I don't really understand the need for hybrid parking spots, especially with, I don't know the percentage, but I'm sure a large percentage of cars are there. If anything, they should have special spots for ICE vehicles that are at the far end of the parking lot.
I'm loving that. Okay. Yeah, that's funny. Rob said he also has the 50-foot 1450 extension as well, and the CCS adapter should never be without a charging option. Yep. And Diego said, have you guys tried the premium Model Y floor mats from Abstract Ocean? Do they compare to the Max Piters? I actually prefer them above the Max Piters. They're really great. We actually have, and we did all the original test fitting for their floor mats as well for the refreshed Model S. Definitely great floor mats. If you are in the market for any, AO's floor mats are awesome. Definitely go with those. And they are a channel sponsor, so you can get 15% off your first order using coupon code Tesla Inventory. Great segue. Thank you, Diego. Luke said airport charging etiquette is weird. Chicago has some charging, but do you block the spot for a week? And see, that was the thing is I went and looked at it because I was like, we're only going to be here for 12 hours, so it's like whatever. But yeah, if you're going to go for like a week or 2 weeks,
yeah,
I really think they should have spots where you could just use your mobile connector and trickle charge, because you're going to be there for so long. You don't need a wall connector. Yeah. Did I use those right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes.
But I know there's like some places up in Canada, where it gets really cold for months and months on end. They have parking lots where there are outlets. And that's not for EV charging necessarily, but it's for like engine block heaters. And so you can keep the oil in your engine warm in your car. And I used to use that when I had an ICE vehicle.
Oh, yeah, I remember
And
that.
So it would be nice if, kind of follow the lead in Canada, and a lot of parking lots just had outlets available for maybe not every stall, but they need to be a larger percentage because the number of the percentage of EVs is just going up.
Yeah, and they don't need to be fast chargers. That's the thing. Yeah. You can trickle charge. If you're going to be parked for like a week or two, you don't want a fast charger because it's going to be done in 24 hours and you're just going to be sitting there taking up the charger.
And one thing too, when we do go for trips with longer stays at the airport, we use a special, off-airport parking garage where they do have like a valet service. It used to be you could park at your wall connector yourself and you just plug it in, and then they saw such high demand for that now I think they require like valet service so that your car isn't sitting there for a week. Basically, you tell them when you're coming back, and then that day before you come back, or 12 hours, whatever, before you come back, they go plug your car in and they have it all ready for you. And so it's a much more efficient way. But yeah, you do have to pay a little bit more for that, but it's a nice service.
Oh, yeah, totally. Or option B, we will like Uber, or a friend will take us to the airport so we can leave them plugged in at the house. But, I mean, depending on where you live and how close the airport is, it's nice that some of these places are offering that. Just so you can actually drive yourself. Let's see. I think we're actually through all the questions and the comments. I think we've done it. An hour and a half. I think that's good. We'll probably go ahead and call it there. Huge thanks to everyone in chat for tonight, helping answer questions and comments. All that. Really do appreciate you all. And if you haven't yet, definitely check out our channel sponsor. Right there, Abstract Ocean, and using code Tesla Inventory will get you 15% off of your first purchase. All kinds of really fun, cool accessories, and actually there'll be a video this week on a new accessory that is just dropping. So very excited for that as well. They help make all this possible, so we really can't thank them enough. And thank you guys for the super chats and donos. Really appreciate it. Again, though, not required. We just love having you guys here to hang out with. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So we'll see you guys next weekend for another live stream. And, well, actually,
March 1st as well.
March 1st. So March 1st is Wednesday.
If we don't have any plans, we'll try to be back on Sunday.
Yeah.
But we could just a shorter one, just go over what's new.
I agree.
But then we can come back again on Wednesday.
So we'll probably be here on the 26th for a quick live stream, and then Wednesday the 1st will definitely be a longer one. We'll do like a pre-party, so make sure you get your popcorn ready and everything. We'll listen to the presentation, and then we will regroup afterwards. So that should always be a fun one. Those are always kind of nice. But yeah, I guess we will see you guys a little later. Bye.